Welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. I'm Chris Witt, and with me, as always, is Mr. Adam Schmidt. Adam, how are you today?
Doing wonderful. I'm gonna go with the first one. It's gonna be wonderful. No,
Wonderful,
I don't use ours
wonderful.
anymore.
I feel like there was one time. So, real quick story, because was not planned at all. But one of my favorite things in the world is people that, I'm not making. Okay, yeah, maybe I am making fun of them. All right, so I go to Gatlinburg with the family. Right, this is years and years ago. I didn't have any kids at the time, so at least 7 years ago. And we go to a little thing in Gatlinburg called Gatlinburg, Ober Gatlinburg. Never
Yep.
been there at the time. We're going for the first time. You got to take this like sky tram that takes you to it, right?
Mhm.
Well, in the center, where these two trams, the one coming down the hill, coming up the hill, they kind of pass each other right at the center. So they come and go at the same time. And there's a little wedge there, right? So you're in this big tram with about, I don't know, I'm going to say 70 people crammed in like sardines. Super COVID unfriendly, but this was 8 years ago. So we're in there, and we got our little guy, and he comes on and he says, "Hello, everyone. My name is Wandy, and I would like to welcome you to Oval Gatlinburg." And as we're going up, when you hit that middle section, that tram looks at the sky and the ground. It like flips back and forth when you're going up there. And he goes, "This is my favorite part of the tour. Everybody pay attention, and we are about to have the sky view and the ground view." And then it comes flattens back out and keeps on going. So my family all the time has fun with people. Not fun with people, but having fun with Mr. Wandy from Oval Gatlinburg. So wonderful is awesome that you said that, and hilarious to only a few people who know that story besides me. But I had to tell it because it's super funny to me. So anyway, Adam, let's get this thing kicked off started. We've got once again, it's Corona Banana Land going on in these parts. We'll get into some of that. But before we get into all the fun of that in the NBA getting ready to start, Major League Baseball getting ready to start in a week or two, let's hear about the people that support us.
Let's do it. First and foremost, training personally with Peggy Edwards. No matter your level of fitness, if you like to be challenged a little or a lot and want the benefit of working with a personal trainer, but you don't want to pay the outrageous costs that most personal trainers cost, then training personally with Peggy Edwards is for you. Training personally is circuit training for all levels with a personal trainer at your pace on your time. Peggy Edwards keeps workouts safe, she keeps them fresh, and she keeps them fun. She's definitely keeping them safe, by the way. Like we've said the last few weeks, she's open for business. It's a gym. It's a cozy place, but she has plenty of room to spread out, and that's how she's got it set up. You're not going station to station anymore. You've got all the equipment you need to do all the different exercises while you're there at your place. So you're staying in one spot. You're doing all the different exercises. You're getting a great workout, a complete workout, full body, and you are practicing social distancing, and you're being taken care of. So everything's clean. Everything's cleaned thoroughly every day. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. So it's definitely worth going to check out. 3634 Boudinot Avenue in Cincinnati, Ohio. That's 45211 on the west side of Cincinnati. If you have any questions if you don't want to go up there yet, you want to ask some questions and figure out, make sure you feel comfortable, feel free to shoot Peggy an email. Peggy, P-E-G-G-Y, at trainingpersonally.com. You can check out information about the gym on her website, trainingpersonally.com. She's on Facebook under Training Personally, or shoot her a text or give her a phone call, 513-328-0296. That's Peggy Edwards with Training Personally, 513-328-0296.
Also brought to you by the newest Nosebleed sponsor, 2 weeks in, Green Solace. Old Magic Fingers Elizabeth Green is an experienced professional massage therapist who provides you with a massage tailored to your needs. Remember that, tailored to your needs. She will come in and not like you're thinking. She'll come in and do a relaxation massage or a focus massage. She can focus on a specific spot, whether it be your back or a neck deal or a shoulder deal. She'll take care of you that way. Wherever you've got pain, she is a licensed massage therapist, helping her clients lead a less stressful and healthier lifestyle. Let her help balance your body and mind. That is Green Solace. You can check her out at Green, GREENESOLACE.com, or check her out on Facebook, same way. Green Solace on Facebook. You can set up the appointment there, and she will take care of all your massage therapy needs.
Here's the thing. Go to training personally, get a great workout in, and then schedule a massage with Green Solace, and you'll be taking care of your body. We care about you here at the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. We care about you. We want you to take care of yourself.
We want you to take care of yourself. Mention the Nosebleed Sports Podcast when you go to training personally. You get a free month. Mention the Nosebleed Sports Podcast when you get a hold of Green Solace, and she'll say, "Oh, you must know Chris." That's all you're going to get, though.
In fact, you might get a little upcharge. No, I'm just
kidding. You might upcharge.
Just kidding.
No, not at all. Not at all. So anyway, like I mentioned earlier, it is banana land in this country and in the world, mostly in this country, apparently, where we still have crazy corona going on, and it is all over the place. Cincinnati, where we are currently in ourselves, Hamilton County area, is a problem area. Huge spikes happening here lately. I went and got tested like I told you guys last week, didn't have the results. I went to Florida 2 weeks ago. This immune system, it's like Mike Tyson, dude. I'm like Mike, it beats everything off. You can't touch this thing. You can't touch this immune system. I could go to China, eat 15 dead bats, lick every door handle, come back. You wouldn't even know anything ever happened to me.
Okay, 15 dead bats.
Isn't that how this started? Somebody ate a bat.
What's that?
Isn't that how this whole thing started? They said somebody ate a bat and got it from them.
I don't know if that's true or not. I've never.
I want it to be true because, people always say that, they always say, even one person can change the world. And I never really believed that. But if that dude ate a bat, he definitely changed the world. If that's how this thing started, that dude changed the world.
Yep, he sure did. So you came up negative officially.
I came negative. Yes, I am negative.
I think I may have mentioned last week that I was going to get the antibody test.
Yes, you did. Did you do that?
So I went to the doctor. I actually ended up going to the doctor because I had like this rash on my arm.
Uh-oh.
And so I'm like, this is weird. I don't know what this is. So I called about that, and I said I'd also kind of like to get an antibody test. Is that possible? And so they kind of were like hesitant, and they didn't really say yes or no, but they were like, well, we'll talk to the doctor and see what he says or whatever. So I went in. Yeah. Ends up being poison ivy. I don't go outside, so I don't know how I got poison ivy. Okay. So I got some poison ivy just on the inside of my arm, a little spot right on the crease of my arm.
Oh, that is the most, right in the crease. The worst places to get poison ivy. I'm going to tell you, because I've had poison ivy on every inch of my body, and y'all can have crazy imaginations. Literally every inch of my body has had poison ivy at one point or the other. I'm extremely allergic to it. Once it's on me, I don't like blow up and have to have steroids or anything, but it spreads like wildfire. The worst places in the crease of the elbow, the crease of the knee, behind the knee, in between the fingers, and the scrotum. The scrotum by far is absolutely the worst. I can't even tell you. It's by far the worst.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Sure would.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So refocus here. Went in for that. Anyway. Talked to the doctor. okay, that looks like poison ivy. Sure, here, yeah, I'll shoot you over a steroid, whatever. Um, and then I asked him about the antibody test, and he's like, well, he's like, look, I'll do it, but we don't know. We don't know what it means. You
Hmm.
might it might mean you never get it again. It might mean you're good for 3 months. It might mean you're good for a year. It might mean you can get it next week.
Tomorrow.
We
Right.
don't know. We don't know. And he said, so it's, and I, it might cost you depending on how your insurance handles it. Might cost you a little extra for the visit or something like that. He said, so you tell me, I'll do it if you want me to or not. And I'm like, okay, well, I feel like you're trying to talk me out of it. So
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
I did not
You
do it.
said no?
I didn't do it.
Here's the deal. Let me tell you this, because when I first came back, I called the doctor to get a test done, and they did the same thing. They tried to like talk me out of it.
Yeah.
No, no, this is what I want to do. So guess what? We're doing it. Well, just quarantine for 14 days and it just pretend like you have it. Yeah, that's fine. But I also want to know if I have it. So I'm coming in and getting tested.
Right.
So, Adam, sometimes you got to stand on 2 feet, brother.
Well, if it was the regular test and I had been around people and stuff like that, I would
Yeah,
have said I wanted it.
sure.
The antibody test, since they have no idea what it even means, whether you're positive or not.
They don't know now, but you could get
Right.
the antibody test now. And then 2 months down the line, they're like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. You can only get it once in your life, which, by the way, that ain't going to happen. Just so
No.
y'all know, you're going to get this again. It's just like any other flu and the way your immune system works. Like the harder you get it, the more chances are that you're not going to get it because your immune system is like your brain, right? So it remembers the stuff that was really bad and it remembers how to fight that stuff. But little things like young people like us who might get something and never even know we had it, your immune system didn't have to fight that hard. They forget about it. You're going to get it again later. So, in case y'all wondering how the immune system works, I'm not a doctor, but I listened to a doctor and he put it in hillbilly, which is the way I just did. He put it in hillbilly for me and it made perfect sense. And I was like, cool. Why don't people explain everything like that? You know what I mean? I wish everybody would explain it like that. Like my memory works a certain way. I remember big things in my life. I don't remember what happens every day. I don't even know what I ate for dinner. It was a couple hours ago. So yeah, it makes total sense. I'll put it in hillbilly for you the way my doctor did.
um, so does your doctor wear a cowboy hat or anything like that?
No, not
No.
in the office.
No,
But
not in the
looking at him, oh, I 100% guarantee he's got at least one Stetson at the house.
office. All right, good. I hope I run into him in the out and about.
Dr. McCarran, listen, he's been doing it for way too long, probably, and he's getting ready to retire. Might be a year or two too late. No, I'm just kidding, Doc. I love you. Someday on this podcast, I might tell the story about my doctor in getting a shot in my shoulder to try to help some pain out. And what the doctor that I went to go get the shot from told me about getting it done. So I'll tell that story at a different time. We haven't got time because there's so much going on right now in sports. And by so much going on, I mean there's nothing going on in sports except for I believe Major League Soccer's back at it.
NASCAR.
NASCAR's kissing bricks. I think they did last week on Sunday. I believe it was the Brickyard thing where they kissed the bricks at the end.
Okay.
I don't know. It might be this week. It might have been last week. Not gonna lie. Didn't watch. Don't know anything. I've been quarantined for like 4 months now, so I don't watch or listen to sports except for I watch a whole lot of Golf Channel. I have become addicted to the Golf Channel. I'm not gonna lie. I bet I watched the Rocket Mortgage last week. I watched on so Thursday, Friday, right, and then you got to make the cut, and then Saturday, Sunday is after the cut. Well, Wednesday they do a practice round. I watched Wednesday's practice round and a little fundraiser that 4 of these guys did on Wednesday to make some money for some people. Then I watched Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I watched golf for 5 straight days. I was really bummed out that they didn't have anything on that one in Columbus. Nothing. The Memorial is next week. This week is something else. They're playing the exact same course 2 weeks in a row.
Oh.
But they're going to change tee boxes up in between and do some other stuff apparently, which I don't know how that's going to work. So I'm pretty excited. But they didn't have any practice rounds today. Really irritated me. I don't get any golf until tomorrow.
Man, that's boring. Okay.
On that note, what is coming up later this month is Major League Baseball and the NBA. So let's get kicked off because they have announced the schedules for both leagues.
Yes.
Obviously, the NBA is the schedule that came out has way more fun games and different things involved in it because it's basically the playoffs to start off the whole thing. So that's going to be fun. But to start off, let's get into Major League Baseball, man. What do we have to look forward to with the way the schedule is coming out?
So because of they don't want teams to travel all over the country, all over the place, they're only playing. So like the Reds, where we are, they're playing their regular National League Central teams in their division, and then they're only playing outside of that. They're only playing American League Central teams. So the East is playing the East, West is playing the West, Central is playing the Central. So, and the games are not, the series against these teams are not even numbers home and home. So that's going to give certain teams an advantage, I feel like.
Sure.
It depends on which teams you play more at home. Like the Reds play the Pirates 10 times in 60 games. 7 of those are at home.
Okay, so here's my question. I have not looked at any of the scheduling at all, but just hearing those few things. So they're playing the National League and American League Central.
Correct.
They're playing the Pirates 10 times.
Yeah. Nobody else 10 times. Pirates, they play the most.
That's 1/6 of for those of you that are as good at math as I am, that is 1/6 of their schedule.
Elder math.
There's only 5, 6 left. And that's way, way more than 5 teams.
Yes. Yep.
How this doesn't make any sense to me. But then again, we're in banana land, so I'm not even going to ask the question. I guess really I just want to know what your thoughts are on it. And when you look at it, how do the Reds stand up?
Well, they start with Detroit at home. Detroit is probably one of the weaker teams in the American League Central, so that's a good start. And then they go 3 against Detroit, then they go for 4 against the Cubs, and then they're in Detroit for 3 more. So pretty favorable schedule to start out. The Cubs should be tough or whatever, but they play Detroit twice. They play 6 games against them. We already talked about they play the Pirates, who are the seller of the National League Central. They play them 10 times. I mean, the schedule should work out pretty well for the Reds.
Yeah.
Now, I would want to look at everybody else's schedule. So, like, I don't know how you feel, but I think probably between East, Central, and West, I would say the National League and American League West are probably the weakest. If you're just dividing it into the 3 regions,
Sure.
I would probably say, would you agree that the West is probably overall the weakest?
I'd agree with that.
So I feel like either the best team in the West, National League or American League West, are going to have a much better time, a much better schedule, a more favorable schedule, or a team who's kind of like border, could be really good, could not be, kind of how the Reds were last year. We were expecting them to be better. They, got off to a bad start or whatever, but one of those kind of teams that they're a few game swing here and there, a 3-game losing streak or a 3-game winning streak could propel them in the right direction or the wrong direction and really get the ball rolling in one way or the other. And for a team like that, you get a 3 or 4 game win streak early in the season, And now you can kind of ride that a little bit, and you turn it into 8 out of 10, you turn it into, 11 out of 15 or something like that. That's all you need. That's not all you need, but that's a big portion of that schedule. So a
Yeah.
team that really might not be that great, but just has a really good 2 weeks.
Yep. I'm going
That
to
could
tell
be
you,
a big thing.
you're going to, I feel like there's going to be a divide. Like a lot of times in Major League Baseball, you've got a group of about 3 or 4 teams up here, and then a group of about 7 to 10 teams below them, and then another group of 7 to 10 or however many below that, and then the bottom dweller 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see, obviously, with only 60 games to play, it's not as big a divide that you of games to separate them, but you're going to see a half and half. You're going to see maybe not even half and half, but you're going to see a group of teams that are going to just have phenomenal regular season records and a group of teams that are going to suck. I don't know that there's going to be a lot of that in between in this. It's going to be a lot of really good, really bad because of the so few games and the way as many times as you're playing the same teams in this so few games. This should be I feel good about what the Reds have going on right now. I feel really good about this.
Yeah. Yeah, and hopefully we're going to try to get Bobby Nightingale Jr. on with us next week, so we can really do kind of a full preview and get some information about what's going on, especially while they're training. So everybody's in Cincinnati now training.
Yep.
They're doing scrimmages, they're doing live BP. And we've seen, by the way, follow Bobby on Twitter at Bobby Nightingale Jr. Because he's updating, he's down there, he's updating, and there are pictures and videos coming out of guys taking BP against, their pitchers and that kind of thing. And so it's very interesting. And I would like to talk to him about how the season looks and about how just the training is going on and all the different things they're doing to keep people apart and what the locker room's like and all that kind of stuff. I'd be interested to hear that from him. So hopefully we'll have him on next week. So if you're watching now, please tune in next week, and we'll try to get that done.
Sure.
So, yeah, I don't know. Besides that, that's what we're waiting on. I mean, we're just waiting on – so it's the 23rd, I think, is the first few games.
Yep.
So we're only, 15 about 15 days away.
About 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
About 2 weeks away.
Yep.
It's going to be fun. I'm excited just to see it. I don't know how long this is going to last. I think now that I'm kind of thinking about this, tell me if I'm wrong here, but I feel this way. I feel like Major League Baseball players have a higher chance of getting the virus because they're not playing in a bubble. And once they get off the plane in whatever city they go to, there's no restrictions. They're like, whatever, just show up at the ballpark, right? Kind of like business as usual is the way that I'm understanding it. I'm sure that they're asking them to do certain things, but they're not mandating any bubbles or anything like that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So chances are there's going to be some people who come down with it. They're going to have a big group of people that they can bring in. They'll test everybody right away, bring in people off of this list. I got a feeling Major League Baseball has a better chance to finish this season out than the NBA does. Because if 2-3 guys in this bubble catch this bad boy, this bubble is going to burst quick in the NBA. Quick.
Yeah, they, I think they have. Well, they obviously, so they're testing them every single day, and that's.
And by the way, how much would that suck to get? It's like every day for about an hour, you have to feel like you inhaled chlorine water.
Is that how it felt to you?
I felt like it had like this burn, like it was like after it was done, it was like, it was like I just came up and I inhaled some chlorine water while I was, in the pool or whatever, and you just get that little burn up there for a while.
Yeah, it made my eyes water when I got tested for sure.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, they're gonna get those guys quarantined right away, and then they're gonna test everybody else. And they're not gonna. if they get tested at night and in the morning they get the results and somebody tested positive, they're not gonna play games that day, I don't think, or they're at least not gonna play the teams that played that person was involved in the day before. They're not gonna play until everybody gets tested again and test negative again. I would think. So that's a thing. Like the schedule might have to be adjusted as they go if that happens.
Not only that, but what happens if LeBron James gets tests positive for COVID-19? I mean, one of the things that somebody might do if they get in, let's say, who's Patrick Beverley playing for these days? Is he still with the Clippers?
Yeah.
Okay. So it comes down, right? They're reseeding everybody at the end of this, and the Clippers and the Lakers are 1 and 2. And we're in the NBA Finals. In game 1 of the NBA Finals, Pat Bev has had a little COVID by his nightstand for a while. Takes a little hit off his COVID cup. Goes to the game, and obviously he's gonna guard LeBron, and that's their goal. Boom. Game 2, and the rest of the finals, no LeBron James.
So you're saying Patrick Beverley is going to get COVID and give himself up to get LeBron out of there?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that would be a good trade off for the Clippers for sure.
Without a doubt. I mean, not even close to. Yeah, without a doubt. I could see somebody going this far. I could see that.
If anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Pat Bev.
I was about to say it's gonna be Doc Rivers, but no, you're right. It would be Patrick Beverley. Doc Rivers ain't. I'm just kidding.
No,
even the coach of the Clippers anymore. Who coaches the Clippers these days?
Yeah, it's Doc.
Okay, just making sure.
So it's going to be really interesting. We talked last week about Buster Olney talking about in baseball how he thinks there's a 5% chance that they start and a 0% chance they finish. And Adam Silver has admitted, look, there's a good chance there's people are going to get this thing while we're here. And they're going to try their best to keep it away from everybody else. Playing basketball, it's going to be tough. And we're going to find out. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I'm really excited. We have this, just looking tonight at these schedules, there's an actual schedule of games and times and TV listings. I'm excited about that. I'm
looking forward to. The funny thing is when all this came out in the, a month ago, 2 months ago, we were all thinking, man, when this starts, shoot, it's going to be so nice. It's going to get started. Everything's going to be calming down. We'll be good to go. This is about to start in what might be the highest peak of the entire virus thing that we've got going on.
Yes, you're right. I don't know, man. I another interesting thing regarding that is we didn't talk about that. We were going to talk about this, but the Ivy League made a decision that I think is the right one. But not just because they're the smartest people in college sports, but because I mean, I don't know. It doesn't matter what I think, but they have decided to forego any fall sports, and I guess winter sports too. So they're shutting everything down through the rest of the year at least. So I guess they'll reassess at the end of the year and figure out what they want to do. It sounds like they're probably just going to wait until spring sports next year to come back. And then who knows, because we have no idea what it's going to be like then either. So
I've got my Xavier season tickets and we just had the option to upgrade. And I was looking to see if I could get a couple extra seats around me for the kids, thinking, man, there's going to be some Corona scaredy cats that are going to give their seats up and I'll be able to snatch a couple real close, start bringing the little ones. There ain't nobody doing nothing. We are all going to get Corona once Xavier basketball starts back up.
and that reminds me that my sister got me a mask. So I finally got some cloth masks. I was using I had a few. I was stretching out the
NBA
disposable ones.
Oh, what about the NBA mask?
I do. Yeah, I do have that one, but that was the only cloth mask I had. And you're really supposed to like wash them after each time you wear it out or whatever. Technically,
Gotcha.
you're supposed to. So, so I was doing that, and I was using sleeve, t-shirt sleeves and stuff like that too. But and my girl got me a few actually, and but my sister got me one, and
That
uh,
is, first off, that's real quick before you get into that. We need to have a podcast about how Adam gets a girl. Adam Schmidt has a new female friend in the middle of the coronavirus. I feel like this has to be a topic at some point in time.
maybe at some point in time. So anyway, my sister got me this mask, right? And I was excited to unveil it here because I knew you would like it.
Oh, look at that. That's what I need right there, dude. I got to give me one. Does that got one of the little metal pinchers for the top?
No, it does not.
Oh, I
It does
got
not.
me. I need to get me one that's got a. I like the pincher because my nose is so big that I feel like the mask is doing nothing. Like everything's just flying out of the top. Like I need something to click down around that old schnoz, and it's got to. It can't just be like like a perfect triangle. It's gonna have like it's got to be rounded in different areas because this nose has got some pits and grooves all over it.
Oh man, is that thing still
I like
broken?
that though.
That thing's
That's
still
nice.
broken, right?
I mean, I never reset it, so I guess it broke. I think it's been broke 3 times, so I might have broke it and then broke it back into place, but then it's been broke right back out of place again. So
So every
at this
odd
point,
every odd number of breaks it again.
I feel like that's correct. Yeah. So I
You
feel
know
like
what
at
you
this
should do?
moment in time, I'm on broke.
You're on broke. Just forget to take out the trash a couple of times and have your wife punch you right in the nose. Knock it right back into place. That thing will shrink back down into a little Michael Jackson
Now,
nose, barely
could you
anything.
imagine that? Could you imagine if that thing shrinks down? Actually, this is the way to do it. That's the profile where you get a real good look at the size of it. The right side of the schnoz is better than the left, way bigger than the left side because of the way it's broken. It's got a little twitch one way or the other. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're watching on YouTube, you just got to see my nose in profile.
Yep. You're good at the profile too. I feel like I'm not sure if I'm exactly sideways or
Perfect.
anything.
No, it's perfect. That was exactly the side. All right, on the count of 3, turn to your left. All right, 1, 2, 3. Turn to your left. All right. So the viewers need to vote. Who's got the bigger schnoz now? All right, we're good. We both went in profile. You're good. You can come back. Both went in profile. I want to see some comments in the YouTube about who's got the bigger schnoz.
Nosebleeds poll. Who has the bigger nose? All right.
I like it. On that note, so apparently when you get this corona, you can't smell or taste, which might be good for some NBA players because apparently the meals that are being given out in the bubble are pretty bad, I hear. I have not seen the pictures. Adam, I need you to describe to me what these – so when I think of it, I'm thinking, oh, yeah, NBA players who eat 5-course meals every day, they're going to be complaining about some good-looking grub. Adam, I want you to tell me what we're looking at here, bub.
I'm telling you. So Troy Daniels posted something on I think it was Instagram. Yeah, I think it was Instagram, and it was his first night in the hotel. All right, they got a nice piece of paper. Looks like maybe even cardstock. It's got a nice border around it. The NBA logo as the date. It says dinner, and so first night. Now this is what it is: fresh garden greens, arugula, if I said that right, watermelon, pickled red onions, goat cheese with raspberry vinaigrette, tomato and mozzarella is it caprese salad? Caprese salad? Caprese salad?
I think it's just a caprese salad.
Caprese salad. Okay. Tells you how much I have
That's
those.
Mike Greenberg, his favorite salad.
Oh, that's right. You're right. Italian grilled chicken with natural, I'm going to say jus white fish with tomato and dill topping, Parmesan polenta with sun-dried tomatoes, pasta with impossible bolognese sauce, roasted summer vegetables. That's the list of your obviously very healthy NBA meal.
So
Now,
that they don't have a choice. That's just what you get.
I guess I would think they would have a choice, but that's
All right. All right.
apparently
Oh,
what it is. But so then he shows the
when mama's
picture.
cooking, it's not a restaurant. If mama's cooking, you get one thing, and that's what's coming out on the dinner table.
Oh,
Don't
I
ask
feel
me
like
for
they probably got so many cooks there, and I mean, if
Oh
they've
yeah,
got
yeah.
people to
Listen,
do to do your toenails, they should have several chefs with options. So so he sends the picture, and it's like a when you go to McDonald's and you're eating in, and you get the tray. It's just a plain old tray. Everything is packed in like little like the little sauce cups you get if you get a meal to go from
yep.
somewhere, and you get the little sauce, like everything's packed in those. The salad is packed in one of those little clear containers. Like it's a to-go meal from a restaurant, from like a mediocre restaurant. And it's
Well, how do you know that? You don't know how good and how fresh those ingredients are. You don't
these are
know that, because maybe people don't like whatever one of those weird ass words that you said were in their caprese salad, and they want to leave it out. So they were nice enough to put that in a separate container for you.
I'm telling you, we need to talk about this for another minute while I pull this. I'm going to share it. I'm going to share the
Oh,
picture
on the Zoom call.
on
Yeah.
the screen as soon as my Google comes up here.
So the thing is for me is I feel like if you're just looking at it and they just show you a bunch of containers, you don't know necessarily how that will look once you mix it all together. He might put all that together, fluff it up, and it might look like the greatest thing you've ever eaten in your life. That's what I think about it.
Yeah, I mean, let me tell you, you will have to do that. You're going to have to take everything out of the containers and put it on a plate, because there's not a plate, by the way. There's no there's no dishes.
Well, that you can see, he took a picture of a tray. You don't know what's in his hotel room. He's probably in a hotel room that's got like a stove and a microwave and a fridge and all kinds of stuff. And it's probably got it's like a suite, it's got its own thing. And they're stocked up with like 4 or 5 plates, 2, 3. Well, when I go to those things, there's like 2 plates, 2 cups, 2
You know,
knives, 2 forks.
you're probably right. You would think they would have everything they need. Um, and I am going to figure out. Okay, so I'm sharing this thing now, and it's coming up.
So if you're watching on YouTube, the Adam screen has started sharing. However, nothing is up, but that's all right. You are
Nothing's
viewing
up yet.
Adam's screen. It just says that we're viewing a black screen right now. I could be wrong. Maybe everybody else sees something and I don't, because it says you started sharing. So
It might just take a minute.
might
But
just take.
let me just tell you that the picture of this stuff does not match what you would expect the rest of his room to be like. I'll just say that. It looks like he went to Kroger, to the salad bar at Kroger, and threw some stuff, threw some stuff in one of those clear plastic containers.
I don't even hear. No, I don't even hear Adam or anybody now.
Are we back?
Oh, I hear you now. There he is.
Hey, all right.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I got your internet connection is unstable as well.
Oh, I had that earlier today.
Yeah.
I lost you there for a good second, but I don't know where you were, where I was. You were froze. I had nothing going on. Hey, the world that we live in, bud, the world that we live in. Lately I've been watching a ton of ESPN, and they've always got somebody on like their Zoom or whatever.
Yep.
And it's always faded. I think that my TV's going out or something, because it looks like it's not HD, and then they show whoever else is on ESPN and they're clear and the guy in the middle is not. So great. It's just the world we live in.
Yeah.
But I do see this now. Okay.
Okay. So tell me what you think.
I'm not gonna lie. If this came to me, I'd be like, daggone, man, this looks really good. What's wrong with this? Everything looks fresh. I don't see anything that looks moldy or nasty.
Well,
Everything looks nice and fresh. Watermelon looks fresh. The biscuit looks good. All the stuff on the side. What is wrong with these? What are you complaining about? What are you complaining about?
this is not what I would think that a normal NBA hotel meal
All
looks
right,
like.
so you've got a hotel that is holding how many teams right now?
Well, it's like they're spread out through 3 hotels, I think.
Okay, so how many teams are there?
There are, was it 20? Was it no? Was it 9?
Let's say
26 or
21
something
to
like
make
that?
okay, 26. Divide that up into 3 hotels. You're looking at 8 teams in a hotel. So you've got 8 teams in a hotel. Each team has however many players. Each team has however many extra people staying in that hotel because I think you get to bring like 2 or 3 people with you or whatever.
Not until
If
a few weeks into the playoffs.
All right, so right now it's just those people. You're not at like a 5-star hotel in downtown New York in Manhattan, right outside of like you're at Disneyland, dude. What were you expecting? What were you expecting to get? What were you expecting these hotels to be doing for you?
I'm expecting the 3 best hotels at Disney World to have better that have been preparing for the last 4 weeks or whatever
No, sorry,
for
brother.
this thing.
They've got to get this food out in mass production.
It's not that many. It's not that many people.
Okay, hold on a second.
I mean, they're
How many
serving
people are on a
people.
team? How many people are on a team?
They can
Yeah,
carry up to
15?
like 16 or 17 right now, I think.
All right, so let's say 17. 17 plus, you have how many coaches on each team? 5? Probably more than
gosh.
that. The way
Yeah.
I feel like half the bench is coaches. But
Yeah.
let's just say 5 plus 5 gives you 22 people times 8 teams. That's 176 meals. Just going off that. That's not training staff. That's not anybody else. Just coaches and kids. That's 176 meals, 176 dinners you got to come up with. If that's not mass production, I don't know what is.
Yeah. But you know what? That's how many people are staying at those hotels all the time anyway. Is this the meal that
This is
everybody
better. I'm telling you right now, this is better than any meal that those people are getting when you're ordering room service. This is probably better than whatever meal they're getting.
really?
Dude, what are you looking at here that looks bad? What here, if you were in a hotel and you ordered something, what on this picture looks bad?
It just looks like cheap grocery store stuff. That's all.
The only reason it looks that way is because of the containers. That doesn't mean the stuff inside is cheap grocery food stuff. The containers look that way because that's how you see stuff in a grocery store. But they had to put,
exactly.
you got to buy containers to put the stuff in. You can't just have 175 meals open air on a plate strolling down the hallway to give to people all day. You've got to, in the COVID life we live in, everything needs to be prepared, sealed right away, put on a tray. I think if you're complaining about this, you've been in the league too long, you're stuck up, you need to get out of it, forget about it. There's nothing wrong with what's right there.
For you and me, there's nothing wrong. You're right.
There's nothing wrong for what. So what's that mean? Why is that NBA player what he's getting? I'm telling you right now, that's annoying. Now the stuff the WNBA is putting up with, mousetraps in the laundry rooms,
Yeah.
and a live worm, an actual live and living worm, still moist, that they're showing squirming on the floor of the thing. I saw a video of one of the WNBA players show. That, my friend, that's living below where you need to be. This right here, I guarantee you what that dude's about to eat is phenomenally fresh and delicious. But because it's in containers, plastic containers, everybody's going to make a big deal about it. It's ridiculous. Plastic containers do not make food terrible. Bobby Flay could make you the best meal of your life put it in plastic containers, bring it to your room, you open it up, put it on a plate, still the best meal of your life.
That's fair. You might be right. They might have to package everything up, to make sure it's safe in between wherever it's coming from to each room. So you're right. Now tell me that roll. At least the roll does not. That looks like a rock, right?
How do you know that looks like a rock? It
Doesn't
might look like it. How do you know how that roll feels? How do
because
you know
I've,
that's not,
because
how do you
I've
know
had
that is not perfectly crispy on the outside and tender in the middle?
I've
I've been
had
to
the rock
five-star
hard
restaurants that
roll.
bring a bowl of bread to you, and that's one of the rolls that's in that bowl of bread. It looks exactly like that.
It,
Phenomenal.
it looks like one of many rock hard rolls that I've had at restaurants.
It looks like it to you. It looks like it. You have no idea what that is right there.
You're right. You're right.
Not fair. Not fair, Harrison Wind, whoever the God's green earth you are. Or no, sorry, Troy Daniels.
Troy Daniels is the one that posted the.
I don't even know who Troy Daniels is. He's number 30 for I don't even know who he plays for. I don't know who he is. So if you, Troy Daniels, are complaining about this, why even be in the bubble? Leave. Go home. Go get yourself a 5-star meal. Go to Jeff Ruby's. Go do whatever you want to do. Don't complain about it. You want to play ball, get in there and play ball. Eat your grub. You can order some more later. Do what you got to do.
So, and speaking of deciding whether or not to be there or not, we talked last week. There was a list of guys that have decided not to go for whatever reason, whether it's health concerns or whatever for people in their family. A few guys just decided they just didn't want to do it. Guys have been talking about not wanting to do it because they didn't want to take the attention away from the injustices and
in Black Lives Matter movement in general, things like that. Yeah.
Right. So, and one of those guys was Dwight Howard, and he just in the last day or so came out and said he is going to join the team. So he's going to join the team and he's going to play. He's going to donate his game checks though to an organization that he started working with. Is that correct?
That is exactly correct. And I'm going to tell you what, this is kind of gives you cold chills because people like us, it's always what can I really do to make a change or to do something to prevent the injustices that so many people feel in their everyday life. What can somebody like me do to make that better? And we've talked about it on this podcast. I don't know. I can try to be better. I can try to do certain things. These guys have the ability, the platform, and have made the money and have the financial stability to make a statement and use their platform this way to say, I'm taking my money that I make the rest of this season and I'm giving it to this. So that way they can go on and play in this and not feel like it's taking away from the movement because they are still giving to it by playing. And I totally respect that. I respect that because as a fan, I still get to watch. I still get to see some of the best players playing. And also as a human being who knows that, what he's putting his money towards is something that means a lot to him. And it's cool. I like it. I think that's awesome. I think it's awesome. I hope more people do it.
Yeah. And Patty Mills actually is another guy who came out today and is doing the same thing. He's going to donate that money to the same kind of cause, and I think you're going to see more and more guys do that too. I think this is going to have a ripple effect, and I think you're going to see some more guys doing that. And it's exciting to hear that guys are deciding to come in and play. But I have not been more excited about any player deciding to play than the news I got this evening. I've been shouting from the mountaintop all season long. Jamal Crawford has signed with the team.
How is he not signed with somebody? He was the 6th man of the year for like 3 years in a row or something. And that was only 2 years ago when he got his last one. I didn't even know he wasn't on a team.
He hasn't been on a team all year. Nobody signed him, and it didn't make any sense. His last game last season, he had like 50 or something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
he's like 38 years old or something. He's like around our age or whatever. He's getting up there, but he's still performing. He's not. He's still
Right.
a very good. He is that guy that you can bring off the bench and get buckets, and it's
It's
I
a
don't think
money thing, brother.
I
It's
don't
got to
think
be a
he's
money thing. They think they can get production similar to what he can do from younger people. And if he's not going to be an absolute star, they're not going to pay him. Even though, I mean, he was sixth man of the year and was making as much money as half the starters on his team
yeah
because that's how good he was.
yeah, and it's I don't think he's making a ton of money now. I
No,
didn't
not
I,
right now. I don't think so. But
yeah, I didn't even see what he signed with, but he did sign with the Brooklyn Nets, who are in desperate need of any players. They're down like 6 guys or
he'll be
7 guys or
he'll be
something.
their star. He'll be their number one.
Yeah, yeah, he will. Yeah, he's their first scoring option now. But no, I'm
Brooke
excited to
Lopez.
see him. And yeah, because he'll get to go off. I'm sure he'll get to go off if he wants to. Because he's not who's he gonna pass the ball to?
Got
Spencer
nobody.
Dinwiddie's out now. That came out the other day. Yeah, they've
They got
got
one of the Lopez brothers.
both Lopez brothers are with the Bucks now, but
Uh,
but yeah, yeah. I mean, Brooke was there for a long time. Um, so anyway, I was so excited to see that Jamal Crawford is back in basketball, and basketball is going to be back. And there are some days that are there are games on all day long on some weekend days coming up. You know, it starts the 30th, I think, is the first day for that. So we'll have baseball starting on the 23rd, and 1 week later, suddenly we'll have two of the major sports back in action by the end of this, in
full
3 weeks.
bore, buddy. There's going to be a lot of games in a short amount of time. So
Yeah.
get your DVR ready because everybody's going to be starting to go back to work because this would have been great during quarantine, but I guess we'll take it now, even though they're probably going to shut us all down here again here soon anyway. So we'll see how it goes. But the one thing about this that's crazy, right? So the world of sports is changing. And we are finally going to be getting sports. And in the same time, we are also losing a legend in the sports world. For over 20 years, Mike Golick has worked the morning show for ESPN Radio. And at the end of July, they have made a decision to completely revamp ESPN Radio, the whole schedule all around. Mike Golick, who has made that morning show forever, never was really a fan of Greenberg. I mean, he's all right, but, I always saw myself more as a Golick guy. Trey Wingo and Golick, I wasn't sure how that was going to work. Turns out they have unbelievable chemistry. His son on that show is phenomenal. They're canceling Golick and Wingo altogether. They have taken the Dan Lebitard show that comes on right afterwards, took it from 3 hours to 2 hours because you can't get rid of that, right? That's the number one radio show in talk sports. So they're not getting rid of that. They would have if they could, I'm sure, but there's no way. So they just cut an hour off that. And they're bringing Mike Greenberg back to radio. He will have his own show, as will Max Kellerman. Why are those two got their own show? You used to have Stephen A. Smith with his own show. Stephen A. Smith, phenomenal by himself. Max Kellerman by himself? Come on, man. Mike Greenberg by himself? I don't care what you have to say.
Huh.
Anyway, so first reaction to that, and then I want to tell you what the new lineup is.
So I started listening to Golick and Wingo probably within the first year or two of their show, not Golick and Wingo, Mike and Mike in the morning.
Yeah, Mike in the morning.
When Mike Golick was on there very early. I remember going to, I want to say it was around well, 20 years. So 2000 probably was the first year, 2000, 2001, something like that.
Somewhere in there, I think, because Golick started at ESPN, I want to say in '98, and in the first 2 years, or the first year or 2 years, uh, he worked with 3 or 4 guys to be the main, to be the driver of the show, basically, and none of them really worked. And then they brought Greenberg in, and that relationship kicked off and carried on from there. And I want to say it was around '99 or 2000. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I remember driving to school, like in college, listening to that in the morning. And so yeah, that was, and then, as I started working full time and all that good stuff. And I was still listening. I would listen to that almost every single morning. And then when Mike Greenberg left, and then they switched it over to Golick and Wingo, I wasn't crazy about that. It's not horrible, but I didn't like it as much. But with Mike Golick Jr., is the best at what they do in all of ESPN, in my opinion. I think he is incredible.
I totally agree. And shoot, they had him doing the Nathan's hot dog eating contest the other day, where there was 2 world records broken, by the way. The women's world record, and Joey Chestnut beat his world record by 1. Went from 74 hot dogs in 10 minutes to 75 hot dogs in 10 minutes. Unbelievable. They're interviewing afterwards, and he's burping and belching. It was so great. Anyway, Joey Chestnut, living legend, by the way, by far living legend. But he did that, and he was unbelievable at that. He can step into anything, and the way he speaks is, I don't even know how to explain it, but he's funny. He knows a large vocabulary of words, and he puts them together extremely well for an ex-offensive lineman. Like, you know what I mean? It's, maybe that's a stereotype, which I know it is, but it just is what it is. I love Golick Jr. He will be on ESPN radio still. Okay. I'll spoiler alert before I get to the lineup. He's got a show.
Good.
His dad contract is up at the end of this year, the end of 2020. And as of right now, it is to be determined on if they've got anything for him to do from now till the end of the year. So, Trey Wingo's got NFL tonight, or NFL Live, or NFL whatever it is, and that's his thing that he's been doing forever, and he's still got that. So Wingo's got his old thing. But in all honesty, Mike Golick, he made that show for a long time by being the odd guy, and the big dumb oaf who actually wasn't a big dumb oaf. Was a really intelligent guy, smart guy from Notre Dame, and played the role so well with both of the hosts that he worked with for the last 20 years. And when we started this, I've done it so many times. I think on this show, I've probably compared us to Golick and Greenberg, like probably 15 to 25 times, right? Like, you're Greeny and I'm Golick. I mean, it's always, when I listen to our podcast, when I think of us, that's how I think of it. So those guys, Golick especially, always love that guy, cracks me up. I'm really disappointed to hear that they have nothing at the moment for him to do. I'm just disappointed to hear he's going to be gone. I don't know why they're doing it. It doesn't make sense why they're shaking it.
I'm not sure either. It has to do something with ratings, I'm sure, or maybe they're
taking their number one show and cutting an hour off of it, and that's the number one show in sports radio anywhere. Yeah,
and it might be like any other business, that a lot of businesses have taken a hit from the coronavirus, although the TV stuff isn't. I mean, radio and TV really shouldn't, because you can do that in your home
Yeah.
or wherever, in your car or
And,
whatever.
and so why would you get rid of them? You're not just getting rid of a radio platform. You're replacing them now.
Yeah, it is strange. I'm not sure. I would like to know why the changes. And by the way, are the changes immediate? I mean, is tomorrow?
Nope,
Is
no,
it changing?
the,
Is
the
it
new
2 weeks?
schedule starts August 17th.
Oh,
The last show for Golick and Wingo, I believe, is the end of July.
oh wow.
So there'll be a couple weeks of God knows what on the radio right in the middle of all of this stuff kicking off and going on. You know what I mean? Of the bulk of these things. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of. I'll just go over this. I'm sure it'll be a few of these guys that are doing the new show. I'm sure they'll be filling in and doing little snidbits until they can all get it planned to get together. So the 6 to 10, which was Mike and Mike forever, and then Golick and Wingo and Gojo. I love the Gojo thing. That thing cracks me up. Golick Jr. So 6 to 10 now is going to be Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and apologies if I say it wrong, Zubin Mehenti, who's a Sports Center anchor right now, which is where they get a lot of the leads for these guys. Right. Zubin Mehenti, so it's going to be called Keyshawn, Jay, and Zubin. I love Jay Williams because Jay Williams says what's on his mind and pisses a lot of people off, and a lot of people don't like what he has to say sometimes. I like somebody like that. Keyshawn Johnson, he's just a mouth. And just a mouth doesn't necessarily mean anything to me. When Jay Williams talks and pisses people off about what he says, he does an amazing job of explaining why he's saying it, right? So I can respect that, whether I agree with it or disagree with it. Keyshawn Johnson's just a mouth. Thoughts?
Especially for 4 hours, I got to tell you, I'm not excited about listening to that. I'm not big on any. Unfortunately, I'm not familiar with the person from Sports Center, so maybe they will.
It might be. Apparently, he's the best part of this because in this thing, there's 3 different tweets from different people, and all of them are about Zubin Mehenti and about how he's the hardest working guy and how great he is at everything he does. It's all about him. So hopefully he carries the show. Some guy that nobody's going to know.
Yeah. Well, they will now. I'm sure more people will know about him now, but yeah, I'm not super excited about that. Might have to switch over to Fox Sports, whatever they got going on in the morning.
Oh, that dude's terrible. That dude in the morning he's the worst thing on radio.
Yeah, I've heard it a couple of times, but I'll just have to listen to more podcasts, I think.
Yep, there you go, more podcasts. That's what they're doing to you. So 10 a.m. to noon will still be Le Batard and Stu, which if you live in Cincinnati where we are, that's all you got them for anyway, because they started the dumbest thing known to man, Cincinnati 360.
You don't like Cincy 360?
It's the stupidest hour of radio I've ever heard in my entire life.
Really?
Oh my gosh, I would way more rather listen to Le Batard for an extra hour and laugh hard than to listen to Tony Pike say 400. I like Tony Pike. Don't get me wrong. I think Tony Pike's good. I just feel bad for him being put in that situation to have to talk Cincy, whatever he's got to do for an hour. You can tell the guy's got no idea what to talk about. He every other word. He's always missing out. He repeats himself 400 times just to get through a segment. I feel bad for him. Because I do. I like Tony Pike in that role. I think Tony Pike is good on the radio, especially when he's got somebody else with him. But anyway, I apologize to anybody who – no, I don't apologize. That's how I feel.
He's a pretty good basketball player, too. We played against him a couple times.
Yeah, we played against him. He's a better basketball player than you would think, but was not the best basketball player on their team.
No, but I could tell that he could have – I feel like he could have turned it on a lot more than he did.
Sure, yeah, the athleticism. Yeah, like
I mean, they were,
he could have become way more athletic if he felt like we were gonna ever get close to beating their team.
that's the thing. He didn't because they were playing us.
hmm hmm Exactly, exactly. All right, so from noon to 2, this is the one that I'm upset about the most.
Okay.
The Mike Greenberg show. This guy started the Jump, or is that what it's called in the morning? And it
No,
wasn't for Jalen Rose and more, or Wake Up, or something like
yeah,
that.
something like that.
Get Up. That's what it
Get
is.
up.
Get Up. The Jump is the NBA show.
Right.
Get Up in the morning. That show's terrible.
Is it?
I don't like Mike Greenberg doesn't do it for me. Jalen Rose is good on that show.
Love Jalen Rose.
Jalen Rose helps that show out.
Yep.
Michelle Beadle was on there for, I don't know, like a week or two, and I don't think she's on there anymore. But Greenberg is just, he doesn't do it for me. So that's going to suck. So from noon to 2, don't listen to the radio. Actually, from noon to 4, because from 2 to 4, you got the Max Kellerman show. I don't know what to think about the Max Kellerman show. I don't know what to think about that.
I don't mind Max Kellerman. I like him a little, but he and Stephen A. Smith together, I don't know if sometimes they say things to try to get a back and forth going or something. So I don't know
Sure,
if it would be a little different.
I think they do, and I hope. And Max Kellerman had his own show before. Max Kellerman is a phenomenal boxing analyst. And if Max Kellerman's going to do a lot of boxing on this show, I'd probably listen to it a little bit more. But if I got to listen to Max Kellerman with his first takes, and that's all it is all day, I'm not in for it. Not in for that. And ESPN might have ruined Max Kellerman by putting him on that show. Just saying. Because nobody was ever going to be Skip Bayless. Nobody was ever going to be able to be the heel like Skip Bayless was to Stephen A. when First Take first started.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I don't think he was supposed to be the heel. Like, I don't think he was supposed
to. No, but
they
had already made the show out to be pit one guy against the other.
Yeah.
So once you do that, Stephen A. is always going to be the hero. Stephen A. ain't going to let himself be the heel. Stephen A. is the hero. I love Stephen A. I love me some Stephen A. His radio show was phenomenal.
He was, yeah. I was, when I first heard Stephen A. years and years ago, I wasn't crazy about him, and then he grew on me, and then sometimes I hear him again now, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So sometimes I can't stand him. Sometimes he's really good, but yeah. So I guess I'm on the fence about him.
All right. So after that, this is something that I never listened to, the 4 to 7 hour. We don't get it here in Cincinnati. 4 to 7, the syndicated ESPN spot, because that's going to be where we have our local stuff at.
Right.
But the 4 to 7 is, and I don't know how to say her name, and I feel terrible about this, but it's a former WNBA player, Chinny Ogwumike. I don't know how to say her last name, but it's Chinny Ngolo Jr. And I've seen this girl. She's good, and she's pretty funny, but she's good, and she's young. Her and Golick together they will take over that 2 to 4 spot, or they may even take over that noon to 2 spot, which is like prime gold radio.
I wish they did the morning. That'd be great for me.
I would love to hear him in the morning, but I think I don't know. There's you need a driver of the bus, and I don't know who's driving the bus on that show. I think that's going to be it's going to be more like the Levitard show, where there's no driver of the bus. Everybody's just going, sitting in the back cruising. I think that's going to be really good. Chinny and Golick Jr. I definitely suggest you guys watch this, listen to that show, because I think it's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to – I'm guessing they're not going to change that, though. We might only get – if that's 4 to 7, we might only get the last hour of that here in Cincinnati, because 3 to 6 is Mo Egger.
Right, 3 to 6 is motor. So we may only get an hour. I thought we didn't get any of it at all, but you're right. It may only be an hour. Either way,
Sarah Spain's usually on after that, right?
right. Spain and Company.
Spain and
Which
Company. Yeah.
I like Sarah Spain too.
Yeah, she's good. Yeah, she's got the our local boy,
Jordan
Cornette. Yeah.
Jordan Cornette's on there all the time. It's not her. He's not always on.
Oh.
He's got the stand-in. It's Spain and Company, but he definitely has a large. He's on there the bulk of the time, I'd say.
Yeah, I've heard
Saint
him
X, right? Saint X boy, him and his brother.
Yep.
That boys. Butler, was he Butler or was he Notre Dame? One of them went to Notre Dame, one of them went to Butler, didn't they?
Joel went to Butler, Jordan went to Notre Dame. I'm pretty sure, yeah.
So he's the Notre Dame one then.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, it's a Chinny. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. I've got news. Pressing pause on playing ball this season was tough, but sometimes taking a step back can lead to an unexpected step forward. I'm thrilled to co-host a new daily national radio show at ESPN, ready to rep this generation and show that voices like mine matter. It's going to be good. I'm excited to hear her. Golick, anybody with Golick Jr. Golick Jr. can make anybody feel comfortable. I would love to hear him and Bomani, be honestly, because I've heard them go at a couple things like peeing in the pool and peeing in the shower. I've heard those two get in arguments about that, and Bomani is hilarious because Bomani won't let you be right. If he thinks he's right, he won't let you be right. But Golick Jr. is the only man I've ever heard in my life that just did not back down.
Yeah, he's good, man. He's confident in himself for sure. Mike Golick Jr.
I thought you were talking about Bomani because Bomani is too.
I'm not a huge Bomani Jones guy.
No, I like Bomani Jones. I like him.
I don't know why. But anyway, yeah, that's interesting. It's going to be, and you kind of hit on that a little bit. That's part of, that lineup and ESPN radio is part of why we're doing this. It inspired both of us, I think, because we wanted to do that. That's what we wanted to do.
Without a doubt.
And so this was our only way to do it because neither one of us are
neither one of us are getting hired by a radio station.
Right.
But thanks to the millions of viewers that we now have on a weekly basis, we love you all, and it means a lot to us that you've given us this platform.
Yeah. Yep. Thanks for all the emails. Thanks for all the tweets constantly. Sorry I can't get to everybody, but Chris and I usually spend about 2 hours every night trying to go through as many fan emails as we can, and it's just impossible. There's too many to get to. So if we don't get to you, we apologize. But
we'll try though. Promise we try. Send another one. Send another one the next day, and eventually you'll be at the top of the list, and we'll hook you up.
Yep. Oh, but one guy that is really a big fan of this podcast, because we have a lot of athletes that listen to this thing, a lot of fans, a lot of front office executives listen to this podcast for advice.
I actually just got a text. I just got a text when I was talking about the Rocket Mortgage from Dan Gilbert, who owns Rocket Mortgage and does the whole thing in Detroit, as well as owns Cleveland Cavaliers.
There you go. So those guys all and comedians. We have a lot of comedians that listen to our podcast and contact us about it all the time. And one guy is a comedian by the name of Nate Bargatze. And so since he is such a fan of the podcast, we decided to throw him a bone and watch his latest Netflix special.
We decided we would hook him up and make him the theme for this week's comedy segment.
Right. Yep. It's called Tennessee Kid, and it was so I watched it when it came out, and then I watched it again just a little bit ago, and I got to tell you, the more I see this guy, the more I like him. I've seen this. I've seen another one of his specials. I think the last one that he did before that a couple years ago. and a bunch of stuff, like you can just find clips all over the place, obviously on the internet of these guys. And so I've seen a lot of Nate Bargatze, and he's good. I think he's really, really good. I like he looked in this special, he looked like he was on 0 hours of sleep for the last 10 days. He is like a sloth, man. That guy looks tired. He sounds tired. He doesn't move around very much.
I
But
feel like that's part of his delivery.
What's that?
Yeah. I feel like that's part of his delivery.
Yeah, and I like it.
Not
I like that it's, yeah, I like that it's about the words. It's not, he's not doing any physical comedy. He's not doing props or anything like that. It's about the words and putting together, writing a joke and fixing it, fine tuning it, and finding the right spots and the timing and all that kind of stuff. And I think he's outstanding at that.
He is very good at that. And I'll tell you, from the beginning, he set this thing off. This is the first time I've seen this. I feel like I've seen him before, but this is the first full special I've seen of him for sure. And he set it off right in the very beginning when he talks about changing his shirt playing golf. And some old man walks up to him and says, "Olivia?" Oh my gosh. The Olivia joke. I was like, I started writing that down. I was like, this could be one where I'm not going to be able to write down because I'm going to be too busy laughing. And I was correct. Hilarious. This dude was phenomenal. He's one of my favorite ones that we've watched.
Nice. Oh man, I'm so happy to hear you say that.
Yeah.
Okay, so then let's rate it.
All right, we can go straight into rating it. I wanted to talk about the hilarious the hilarious wedding that he went to, where the guy had, where the father of the bride, they didn't have a shirt for him, so he
just didn't wear one.
Didn't wear one. He said, turn your jacket around. And then you saw his back, and you're like, oh no, I didn't know your back could be worse than this one. Turn that thing back around. And at the very end of the special, during the credits, there's a picture of this guy. And if you pay attention, he's got a cigarette down in his hand, down on the bottom, sunglasses on, cummerbund, full tuxedo, no shirt. Hilarious, hilarious, hilarious. Oh, so hilarious.
He said they had a punch bowl. They had a punch bowl low to the ground, so he was helping all the kids get punched. And somebody said it's wine.
He said, I didn't know you had to you had to take the wine out of the box to let it breathe a little bit.
Put wine in a punch bowl. And then he said
9-year-olds loose that night, I think is what he said.
Yeah. And he said the DJ was drunk. He played the song White Wedding 3 times in a row.
That was at his own wedding.
It said all of that. He said it was. He said
at the Hillbilly wedding
by Billy Joel.
Yeah, sung by Billy Joel. Because at the Hillbilly wedding, they were just listening to a boombox. They just turned on the station because they had to wait. They had to stop dancing while they would do the traffic and weather.
They put 2 pieces of plywood together for the dance floor. Turn on a radio station. Oh my God.
I'm telling you right now, this dude was really good.
I like the dead horse joke.
The dead horse joke. You can't even tell that on this because it wouldn't make sense. You have got to listen to the full joke. He put a lot of time and effort into the dead horse joke.
He did.
Put a lot of effort into that one. And that was really good. That was really good.
So funny.
So because that turned back around because they took a horse and carriage. His cousin Tuesday took a horse and carriage on Saturday to their reception next door from the Louisville, Kentucky, outside of Louisville, Kentucky wedding. Anyway, super funny guy. He's from Tennessee. He's a big Vanderbilt fan. Really funny. If you ever want to hear a funny story about somebody going to tailgate and screwing up and going inside instead of tailgating, that was pretty funny. Hit a lot of good, funny stuff in here, man. I definitely suggest you listen to it, watch it. And apparently you should probably watch the stand-ups from like 2018 or 2009. He was in the stand-ups, which is like if I'm not mistaken, it's like 5 or 6 30-minute 30-minute stand-up guys getting to do stand-up. So there's 4, 5, 6 of them, but they do 30 minutes at a time. Watch that because the follow-ups to it are, I didn't even see the first one and I was laughing my ass off at the follow-ups to those jokes. So definitely check it out. Check that out. Check him out. Nate Bargatze.
Yep.
Super funny guy. Not how you think you'd spell his name. Berg Etsy with a Z. I'll just say that. Anyway, super funny. And I'm going to go ahead and rate it. So I'm going to go. No, you go first. You go first. What do you got?
Oh.
You don't have it typed in yet?
What's that?
You don't have it typed in yet?
I don't. I didn't rate this one ahead of time because I was a little undecided. But I am going to go with a 4.3.
4.3. All right. So I want to know, what did I give Patton Oswalt?
Okay. You gave Patton Oswalt a 3.4.
Okay. I usually go right off the cuff and just say what I think. Trying to think of some other guys that we did. I'm not going to – I was going to say because he was way better than that, and I couldn't remember if I gave Patton Oswalt a good number or not, so I wanted to make sure it was above him.
So you gave –
clear that.
Here's what I did. I looked at what I gave Michael Che and thought about it compared to that one.
All right.
So I gave Michael Che a 4.5. And I gave Nate Bargatze a 4.3. I could go 4.4.
Did I give Michael Che? Is that the one we both gave him a 4.5?
Yes.
All right. I'm giving Nate Bargatze a 4.5. That dude was hilarious.
Nice.
I laughed consistently through the entire special. Hard laughed many times.
Yeah.
Many times.
All right. I just changed mine to 4.4.
Oh, there you go. All right. There you go. So guys, this is one of our biggest ones. This is one of the ones that we have rated as high as just about anybody out there. Check this special out. It's from last year, so it's relatively new.
Yeah.
Check it out. It is very good. Which brings us to our next thing. What are we watching this week? Which I believe I already picked, didn't I?
Yeah.
Who did I say it was?
You said Eric Andre, right?
Eric Andre. That's right. That's the one.
Legalize everything.
Legalize everything. This is brand new. Eric Andre, legalize everything. I'm pretty excited about this. I think this is going to be funny. It sucks because every time I think that, it ends up sucking.
Yeah. I'm going to need to either get like a bunch of rest before this or do some mushrooms or something like that because this guy is a strange bird.
Oh, he's strange. He's definitely a strange bird. I suggest if you know anybody that can hook you up with a little LSD, that you might just throw some of that down beforehand and just get lost in the fun.
Man, have you ever watched his show on Adult Swim?
No, I have not.
Oh boy, it's insane.
Really?
It's insane. It's.
I like to check it out. I mean, I know the dude's a nutcase, total,
Yes.
and just it's absolute total nutcase. He was on Two Broke Girls, one of my favorite shows.
Was he really?
He was a boyfriend for a little while they were in the cooking class together, and they both like to get high. So,
Huh.
Yeah. Jim Jeffries has got a new one out too.
Yes.
That dude's a little weird, but all right, Eric Andre, it is. Legalize everything.
There it is. All right. We'll watch it, and then we'll next week, hopefully we'll be able to get Bobby Nightingale on. If not, we'll do a little preview, I think, ourselves maybe of
Yeah.
of baseball and get ready, see what kind of news comes up about basketball, about what's going on in the bubble. Since
Yep.
everybody's going to be there for a couple of weeks and doing scrimmages and all that kind of stuff before games actually start. So we'll find out who's got the COVID already and who, or who's looking good and who was in shape. Apparently, I don't know if you see that picture of Zion Williamson that they've been showing a million times a day on ESPN, but apparently he's all leaned out and he's looking unbelievable. And
Well, once he got the money, that wasn't going to take long.
yeah,
It wasn't going to take long. And these guys are every one of these dudes are in the most stupid shape of your life. Once that kid got the money and had somebody in his ear that said, listen, if you really want to make this happen, you're going to have to do X, Y, and Z, and X and Y were getting shape and Z was just be Zion, then
I
how
see
about
what you
that?
did there.
That's pretty good. I was just off the top of the head. Yeah, it's not hard to do. It's not hard to do anymore, man. Not with the way these personal trainers, they like take your blood and they're looking at everything constantly. It's crazy. Yeah. Crazy. Bryson DeChambeau, golfer, put on 35 pounds, not necessarily a muscle, just a beef. And he's completely changed himself as a golfer. And he won last week and is I think 4th in the world right now. The dude's unbelievable. Like, if you want to do something and you've got the money to do it, there's a trainer out there that can take care of you.
Yeah. Yep. And if you can't find him, hire me. I'll do it for you. I'll
Or
guide
go to
you.
training personally with Peggy Edwards. She'll take
Yeah,
care.
that's a much better idea than hiring me because I don't know what I'm doing.
There you go. All right. So on that note, man. So till next week, we've got our comedy set up. We've got some more MLB, NBA stuff, obviously, and see what happens in the world of Banana Land coronavirus.
Banana Land. That's it.
There you go. All right. So till next week, don't forget to turn your headlights on.